my advice to anyone who is a supervisor or a manager is that because you've been there looking at the plans and you know every detail because you've either priced the job or you've overseen the job or you've put it through planning, you need to pass that information on to those who are working under you or with you, not under you, but with you.
G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Build Insight podcast. This is episode 38, part 2 of a toolbox style chat with some Callery Building employees live from the Callery Building warehouse. If you missed part 1, make sure you head back to last week's episode and listen to that first. Otherwise, tune in as we wrap up part 2 of this conversation.
There you go. All right, let's
That's
segue to some communication. Why, and again, like I said, I've given you a microphone. Be as open and honest as you want, because I know I've lacked in clear communication myself, sometimes from office to site or even on site. Why is clear communication so important, and what are some examples that you guys may have experienced where a lack of communication has caused some big issues?
Over to the supervisor.
No, communication is key. So if you have clear communication through trades or even your boys on site, it gets that end result that you're trying to achieve. So,
and it comes in all forms. So it's obviously there's verbal communication, there's information that we relay from the office to you guys on site, but then there's also non-verbal communication where there's, after the toolbox meeting, you guys might write a to-do list on the whiteboard or a piece of timber and nail it to the wall or something like that. It's creating that, essentially systems basically in non-verbal communication to be able to...
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that probably I've got to learn more of is being more verbal to the boys, because I know what's going on site and how the job's running. I've got probably 100 things in my head and I know what's happening next week or tomorrow or in a couple of weeks on planning, but sometimes I won't relay that to the boy, and that's probably where I just got to get better with, like you said, writing list, or probably more of a toolbox meeting where they're aware of more planning throughout the week, like what's going on.
Well, since we touched on this, Nathan, last week there was an example of where Nathan bought some materials for a specific task and he gave me a task to do and I used the wrong material for that task. And the conversation I had with Nathan is, just because it's in your head doesn't mean I know what it is. And my advice to anyone who is a supervisor or a manager is that because you've been there looking at the plans and you know every detail because you've either priced the job or you've overseen the job or you've put it through planning, you need to pass that information on to those who are working under you or with you, not under you, but with you. But a lot of it is expectations, is you're managing the expectations of your client that you can give them what you want. You're trying to get things to work. So
the hardest thing with site supervising is you don't want to be like you're micromanaging someone. I don't want to tell you that put this screw in that certain center and this is how you do it, and like you sort of... But yeah, communication is key.
Yeah, just everyone being on the same page, that everyone knows what needs to happen, time frame of what you've got to do, and just making sure that the job is done properly. But again, as a supervisor or a manager, you can't be everyone's friend. And you do sometimes, we have a laugh and a joke, but sometimes you got to put a bit of order in and be like, hey, that's not right. But then also, if you do... sometimes you get a little bit excited. You then admit, hey, sorry, guys. And props to Nathan. He shouted at us last week, didn't he, Oscar? But then 5 minutes later,
shout, but yeah, he thought he got angry.
Came back and said, sorry for that. That wasn't appropriate. And Oscar wasn't offended, and I'm pretty thick-skinned, so it didn't bother us. But, you know, you've got to admit, sometimes you make a mistake and you just got to deal with it, haven't you?
It was more of a shock of me walking into the room to seeing the guy. But yeah, it was more of a reaction, and even though the boys laughed that they thought I was yelling, I still said sorry that I don't want to be like that.
But then that's admitting that we're all human and we all make mistakes, and sometimes it's with the best intention you do something, but you stuff something up, and you've got to be like, hey, hands up, let's move on.
I think the best part of that was the fact that we took the time after to just stop and realise, like Nath instantly, like,
well, not instantly, but like obviously came back afterwards and apologized, and then we basically had a debrief instantly that we didn't realize. But
just reflect.
We all
on
sort of
worked out that's what happened.
Yeah.
What do we do next time? How do we move forward?
But then that's the communication,
it gave
isn't
us
it?
an understanding of how he thinks, and obviously, it gave me more of an understanding. And
But then we're talking about camaraderie, and we have deep and meaningful conversations as we're working or even at lunchtime. And, you really do get to know each other and each other's little quirks that you either laugh at or you deal with, or, it's just part of working together.
Right. Which is good, because that leads into the next topic. I want to talk about team culture, site vibes. What makes good team culture? What creates a nice, happy going site?
A positive attitude.
It's definitely
So there's a little just backtrack there, because I know Andrew said that at the start as well. There's a little inside joke going on about Andrew's favourite saying is, well, basically, what do you need? And it is just always the response is a good attitude. One day, I actually I couldn't understand his accent. I had no idea what he was saying, and I meant that as respectfully as I could. So it's just, anyway, you might hear good attitude pop up every now and then.
But again, I think part of getting stuff done is you do have to turn up with a good attitude.
Yeah.
And you have to, a can-do attitude, a positive attitude. And I used to say to my guys, is just you turning up on time and ready to work is 50% of it. Whether you're the best or whether you're average, that comes a long way. So for apprentices, just turn up ready to work.
that's true. That is very true.
On time. It goes a long way. And if you don't know what to do, just ask. So communication again comes back to you, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's also laughter as well.
Yeah.
Having laughs a massive one. Like sometimes, when we're in the shit, definitely like each of these guys will just look at each other and either say a joke or say something to get a little reaction, and then it's just almost like you're not really at work. You're not doing that hard work for a bit. You're just joking around with mates. So it definitely does lighten up the load a bit when you're not taking everything too seriously during the day, I'd say.
What's maybe for anyone that might be listening and there may be a little bit of tension in their team, or there's a new guy on and they're not quite sure how to get them more involved, what's some tips? You guys have been working together long enough now, and fortunately enough, you're all easygoing and love talking anyway, but what's some tips to maybe engage in more of that positive team culture?
Definitely, I'd say like honesty, like with each other, and especially like Nate said from the start, he was real honest, and he's basically like, look, like you said before, is like we're going to be with each other more than we might be with our families, for the next few years, especially. So it's like,
Is that all? You're not hanging around?
no, well, basically, it's going to be me and you for a while till who knows when. Basically, be honest with me. Like if there's something that you don't like, or something that we can work on, or like tell me so that I can improve and get better. And I said basically the same thing to him, and obviously we said, I guess it's just happened, but
started on the right foot, like Oscar said, with the relationship you spend every day together. So trying to have things in common, and it's a big thing that, because you do spend every day.
I think not holding grudges. So something goes wrong, not you get told off, but you get told you haven't done that right, or it isn't done good enough. So you need to fix it. So you fix it and you move on. Or like I said, when stuff goes wrong or whatever, you kind of say what you got to say. That's it. Move on. Otherwise, it snowballs. And actually, I think that's pretty good for any type of relationship you have. Don't hold grudges, because it's a waste of time.
Absolutely.
Waste of energy.
For over 130 years, Bowen's has been the builder's choice, providing a service that provides timber, hardware and innovative building products.
And now we're helping you further with this wonderful partnership.
We're proud to announce Bowen's as our new premier sponsor, bringing you more of the insights that you love. Build insight together with Bowen's.
Real people,
Real insights.
Unfortunately, natural human nature is the way that we are. If something happens, unfortunately, people get held up on it and just can't seem to move forward. But that scenario or that accident, that incident, whatever happened, has already happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't change it. How to quickly reflect on it. What do we do next time to move forward to make sure that mistake or that unclear communication doesn't happen, and we can move forward in the most positive way possible. You can't change the fact that's already happened.
Old fella said to me once that everything can be fixed. So like with their apprentices and that, you give them a try on tackling a task. At the end of the day, if they stuff it up, they've stuffed it up, cost you time, but it can all be fixed. Like they're gonna take from what they've stuffed up or whatever to learn that maybe next time I do that, I'm not going to be doing it's a whole learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah. And that probably goes back to at the start of the conversation we mentioned about how it's so important to be trained, the way that you train your apprentices.
Yeah.
If you're the lead carpenter or the supervisor, whoever it is, whoever makes a mistake with the apprentice around, it's so important for you to not get too emotional about it or get hung up on it, and show the apprentice that, okay, well, that's happened. Now we need to be able to fix it and move forward, so that you're not then putting that negative attitude and mindset into the apprentice.
Yeah.
They can grow in the best way possible as well.
You don't want them being scared, like at the end of the day, if they stuff something, you don't want them coming to you and being scared that, I've stuffed something up, because like you said, it lowers their confidence in tackling a task next time. So yeah, it's just positive attitude, really, isn't it?
And problem solving is one of the biggest things we do throughout the day, and you can pass that on to any part of your life, that something bad or something unexpected happens. You just quickly 1, 2, 3. How are we going to get around this? And you solve it. You make it work. So.
Yep. Moving forward, lessons learned and a bit of advice, I guess, for people transitioning into other roles or wanting to have a go. Nath, we'll start with you. What advice could you give someone that's maybe a lead carpenter at the moment wanting to get into a supervisor's role?
It was just give it a go. Like, you've always got your people to fall, like, as in for me, for instance, always have Luke as a backup. You wouldn't say backup, you'd more so say like
Support?
Support, that's the word.
I think it's important that if you end up in that role, that you're not then, just because you've been given the responsibility that you can oversee trades, team members, all that sort of stuff, that you're not thinking that you're too superior for everybody and get too big of a head. Like, you need to be able to actually
I think that
still communicate and ask for advice when you can.
I think that's the biggest thing on site. Like with the boys, hopefully they'd say this about me, but I always sort of take the lead. Like, I might be supervising and running the job, but you always see me on the jackhammer. Or, for instance, we cut up some concrete a few weeks back, and Andrew next to me, I was on the quick cut. I was covered in red brick dust, and it's just about taking the lead. And it's not, it's more them looking at you thinking that, okay, well,
It's nice to know that you're all in it together, and that the supervisor isn't superior to you. He just has a different role to you. Same as the business owner. You don't want to work for someone who constantly tells you how rich they are, how much money they've made, even like anything like that. You're all in it together. You're all earning money, and that's why we work. I mean, I still enjoy working, but it's ultimately because I need to provide for my family and have a good life. So,
but it's about basically like you want to see them to look at you as you're like, that's what I want to be, sort of thing. So it's about just taking lead and like you said, not having that difference between people on site.
Yep. Oscar, you're not starting from scratch because you've already been, I guess, a part of the industry with your studies at uni. But what advice could you give to anyone, either mature age or junior apprentices, anyone that's wanting to get into, because what we're experiencing at the moment in the industry is a massive shortage of young, motivated people coming through and wanting to be the future of our industry. What advice can you give to someone that's looking at maybe getting into a career, whether it's carpentry, plumbing, electrical, whatever, just anything in general?
I think Obviously, yeah, I was obviously motivated and interested from a young age. But a big part is like even having that motivation and having that interest, there is still weeks and like obviously where it is tough and it is harder than anything I have done before, other jobs. So that is not an understatement, but I'd say that to like, as my advice would be like, build your life around like work as well. So don't just finish work and think, oh, that's it. Like, you know, I can go do whatever, I can go out, I can party, I can drink whatever. You do need to think that like obviously come Sunday, come Monday, you need to be switched on, ready to go. So a big thing is obviously like having a sleep schedule, maybe having like an outside sport or club that you're doing extra training, going to the gym or something. I feel like that's a big, important thing to have also an outside life, I guess. Otherwise you can probably feel, like it's a bit much and it is like a tough job and obviously sometimes you might not think that you have time to do anything else, but there is a lot of time to have an outside life and do all that. So I definitely say advice is like take care of yourself and your body as well, because you're gonna obviously have to last in the industry.
You're going to need it when you're old.
Yeah, exactly.
So advice is wear earmuffs, because as you get older, this is the big thing that I tell the apprentices: wear your earmuffs, because being deaf is not fun. And exactly.
What's that?
Yeah. So look after your body. Your body, you'll need it at some point.
Yeah. And I've definitely seen that as well. Like my old man, he's done, over 40 years of the trade and he's definitely paying for it now. So now I'm trying to obviously look ahead and try and keep myself fit and healthy, and feel like as well what I've seen in the industry is that's what can be the downfall of some people. I feel is going out and having a massive weekend and then you don't feel like working, and obviously that's going to bring your mood down and make you probably not want to show up and do the things you can do. Whereas if you're obviously fit, healthy, ready to go, work's going to be a lot more positive and you're going to enjoy it, get the most out of it.
Yep. Dino, so I rocked up to site last week, got scratch bench tops, paint all over the windows.
Let me guess, Lukey. No good?
No good. And now we're spending big bucks trying to fix it.
Mate, Goop Guys roll on a thick, peelable protective coating that saves your surfaces.
And your budget.
And your sanity, Lukey.
Seriously, check them out. goopguys.com.au. Protect your job from the start.
I think maybe we'll get towards wrapping this up pretty quick because we're clocked over now. We've had a couple of coffee breaks and now I'm paying these blokes. They should be on site now, so we won't stay here all day. I guess maybe now is a really good time for people to be getting into the industry. What are maybe some misconceptions that people might have about it, or to any of you, not just apprentices, anyone older in life? What can any of you give advice to anyone that's maybe thinking of a career in the industry?
Oh, I think the thing with the trade is that it's knowledge that you know, and regardless of where you live, you still have those skills and abilities. So I guess the benefit is the earning potential. If you work for yourself, you can earn as much money as you can work. So trade is all about learning, and you continually learn even after 25, or probably even after 40 years, you're still learning stuff. Things are still changing. You can use your ability to learn different things and put it for whatever in life.
Big satisfaction as well of completing something. Like you can stand back at the end of the day and think that I've actually built this.
Yeah.
Like
it's very rewarding.
Rewarding.
Yeah. And you've got to do, like at the beginning when you're the apprentice, you've got to do the hard yards, but it does get easier because you start using your brain. It isn't just about physical or like physicality. It's about using your brain as you get older. You can have a whole career in it because you can progress, if you wish to, you can progress through to supervising, and hopefully when the body starts creaking, you can start using your brain a little bit more. And, it can be a career for your whole life if you wish it to be. So unlimited potential is there.
Yeah, I definitely think there's so many different avenues you can go down, and with the skills you learn, you literally, like in all different aspects of life, you can use it And especially this probably brings me back to the start, but I was always like so impressed when I was younger, obviously being around trades and stuff, and then finding out when I was a little bit older that like my dad had built half of the house that we live in was a massive like, wow, like he actually did this on weekends with his own hands. Hearing like my grandparents when they first came to Australia, like spending weekends building like their houses together with mates is like such a like crazy understanding, and I feel like it's awesome being able to understand what they've gone through, like, and the hard work that they've put in, even just obviously to, you know, have what our family have. But I would love to do that as well one day and build my own house.
Well, no one can take away your trade though, can they?
Yeah.
That's yours.
Exactly.
You can take that to wherever you work. Like you can have different jobs or work for different people or even work for yourself, but no one can take away what you know.
Yeah.
And you can use that for yourself, for your family, for your employer, for your own business. It's transferable. And if you've got the right type of mindset, you can then start learning different parts of different trades and just being multi-skilled as well. So
it all comes down to a general builder, like if just that variety of work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you learn so many different trades.
One question before we get to the very last bit, I'm curious to know, actually, this wasn't a part of the script, it's just popped to mind. I guess the way that our business has progressed in the last little while, what advice can you guys as employees give to maybe a potential employer listening that's thinking of growing their business and being able to manage, I guess, take the time, not forget about their employees, make sure that everyone still feels a part of the growing family? Or what advice can you guys give to maybe like from the employee perspective?
To grow the business, you need the right people. You need everyone on the same path that you're trying to achieve, because if you have Tom, Dick and Harry just turning up trying to do their job, well, it's not going to really scale your business, is it? Like, yeah, you need everyone on the same path.
We are absolutely thrilled to announce that Circus Studio are coming on board as a major sponsor and supporter of Build Insight. Circus Studio is Australia's leading interior design centre. If you're an architect, building designer, interior designer, builder, or just looking to build your dream home, you need to make a time and come in and check out the space here in Port Melbourne. This space holds every element that you'll possibly need to design your dream home.
Communication again, isn't it? It comes back to communication. You need to tell your employees what you want to achieve and how you're going to do it and how they're going to be a part of it and what you want them to do specifically. Growing your business needs to be slow and steady, because we all know people that think they're millionaires because they've got this one big job and actually it isn't managed properly and you end up losing money. And that's me speaking from my own experiences, thinking everything's doing really well, and then actually it turns out that your biggest and largest job you do actually is the one that costs you the money. Yeah. And having the right people, like Nathan said, right people in the right roles, doing what you need to do. But also, like, it's communicating. If things aren't going well, you need to tell the guys, hey, we need to maybe just knuckle down. We need to get this finished so that we can move on to the next job that is going to earn us money if there's something that isn't going right. So communication.
And delegating really as well, making sure everyone knows their specific job role and how to
which is really, really hard when you're used to doing everything on your own, getting into that mindset of being able to delegate tasks so that you can focus more on what you need to be doing to grow.
As in director as well, like stepping back and letting go, because everyone's a carpenter. Like, we all start off as carpenters doing subcontract work and then move into building, but then it's that letting go of, all right, well, I've actually got to step away. I've got to give trust in the boys on site to do, so then I can focus on upscaling and all the other stuff that comes with actually building a business.
Well, and also not micromanaging and knowing that there's many different ways to get to the same outcome, and that you don't need to tell someone this, and this, as long as this is the end result, this is what we want, go ahead and do it. Or, you know, if they ask you, how do you want me to do it? That's different, but just letting someone run and do what they've got to do. And that's how you learn as well, is by having something that you're not quite sure and, well, what's the best way to fix it is just get in there and figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, mine would just be like teamwork. Like as we've all mentioned, like we're with each other more than we are with our families. So like building that like sort of family environment almost, like whether that is, and like I feel like that can always be built up. Like even if, like say it is for someone else that's a business that is struggling, like do that, go the extra to try and build your team up rather than getting rid of people that's a problem. Like obviously, doing things together, being obviously open with and communicating with each other is always like the best thing to obviously build relationships. So that's a big thing. Like if you've got people that aren't talking, rocking up to work, don't want to work with each other, it's not really going to work out too well in the long run. And yeah, so making a change and doing something if things aren't going right.
The biggest thing in a business is people, just trying to deal with people and like knowing their personalities, and that's the biggest thing, isn't it?
Yep. All right, last one, guys. We're going to wrap up. I like to do a bit of a quick fire or a rapid fire round. Unfortunately, there's a theme going on with this that they're never rapid answers. So please, let's keep this as quick as we can, because I've got a big list here. I'm going to go through and actually pick some of the important ones because I don't need all of them. But again, don't get hung up. Anyone, feel free to jump in first as well. Most used tool in your kit.
Hammer.
Laser.
Whoa. Whole laser knife. Best smoko snack?
Oh, up and go. Yo. Sorry, YoPro. I'm going to go with the YoPro.
Well,
15 grams of protein.
No, I reckon a boiled egg.
Radio on site. Either station, favourite playlist, or nothing.
Bit of Bluetooth, bit of fresh.
Bit of 92.7.
Yeah, I don't like listening to the radio people, but
I like Nathan's playlist.
Music.
Bluetooth's always good.
Yep. If you weren't in construction, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing?
Rapid fire.
I'd be bodybuilding or lifting weights, trying to be a bodybuilder or something.
I reckon I would probably be doing something caring-wise as a carer, healthcare.
Okay. Yep. One piece of gear or a tool you can't live without.
My Martinez set square, feel free to sponsor me.
My trailer.
My trailer.
My Hilux.
Hilux.
Sponsor me.
Favourite Friday knockoff tradition?
Beer.
Probably closing the doors of the trailer to start the weekend.
Yeah, putting on the slides, ready for the weekend.
All right, last one. Advice in 3 words for someone starting in the trade.
Don't be scared.
Just give it a go.
Yeah, get after it.
Oh, there's some good ones. And that was all quite quick as well. Awesome. All right. Any final takeaways that anyone wants to share before we wrap this up?
Don't be afraid of change or challenges.
Yeah, good one, because it is an ever-evolving industry. There's been some interesting changes with our National Construction Code and stuff like that over the past couple of years, and more coming.
And I think you've just got to embrace it, because times do change. And if you don't change with the times, then you're going to be left behind. And then ultimately, you don't become valuable. And if you're not valuable, you don't have work. So
cool. Awesome.
That's how it is.
All right, we might wrap it up there, I think.
Yeah.
You boys need to get to site. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode, something a little bit different. Like I said, we normally get business owners on to talk about it, but I thought the experience of some of my employees, fortunately, they didn't hang too much shit on me, which was nice, but just to get a perspective from that side of things in the industry as well. So hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to find out more about Build Insight, head over to our website, buildinsite.com.au. On the website, you'll find links to previous podcast episodes, links to the YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook. Hope you've enjoyed the episode, and catch you on the next one.
We just need to say a massive thank you to our sponsors and supporters. Without them, Build Insight wouldn't be possible. So to Bowens, Circus Studio, Wonderbuild, Goop Guys, Callery Building, and Backman Builders, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products, or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.